So this is the Samebike 26-inch. I believe the product name is the Sh26. I've yet to actually see a decent online review for these as they're pretty new, so I thought I'd fill the space. So the main features of the bike are, of course, the battery, which is currently kept in this area here. It is a non-removable battery. As you'll see, it has two screws in the frame, one there and also one there, and they can be removed from this area here, just behind there. There is a nut on the one side as well as a screw on the other. Now there are a few things that this bike has failed to do quite spectacularly. First thing would be the suspension. So I mean, I spent £580 on this product, so can't really expect the world for that sort of money. But the front shocks really are useless. They bottom out over the worst of the least of potholes, I should say. And yeah, other than that, I'll be honest, the rest of the bike is pretty decent, other than the inner tubes that it came with, which both, well, exploded in the first week or so. But I've now replaced those and gotten some of the self-repair inner tubes in, and to be fair, they've done the job. I haven't had a single puncture since, and it's been about 3 weeks now. So the first thing that I've noticed is that the back wheel is, well, wearing significantly compared to the rest of the bike. I mean, other than that, that's pretty much all that you really need to say, other than the fact that you get this protector for your derailleur. The derailleur itself is actually a Tawny 6 to 7 speed. Doesn't state it on the actual thing, but it does work. I'll show you the handlebars as well. So you can see on the left hand side here, I've done a bit of custom work. So what I've done is I've moved the throttle from the right hand side and moved the on and horn switch to the right hand side instead. That's to allow me to actually switch the gears when I'm going up hills and stuff. Now the actual controller isn't very advanced, shall we say. It is pretty, well, pretty simple. So you just turn it on like that. You can see that you've got your batteries here. Now if you want to actually have any assistance, you do need to click one of these buttons. Now you've got a minus there, which is the eco mode, the assist mode there, and then the plus mode, which, you know, generally used for off-roading, stuff like that. Now you do have a light as well. As you can see, that light is quite bright, but you don't have a backlight. So yeah, now there is another mode where you can just click and hold down the mode button, and that will basically hold 6 kilometers per hour. That's if you've got a very steep hill, and that will help you sort of get a bit, and it is rather useful. Now when you're riding the bike, first thing to know is that you don't have the most powerful motor in the world. So it is a tiny little thing just in the back wheel. It's a 250 watt to 350 watt. So any significant sort of gradient that you have to ascend, you can have some difficulty. So I would heavily suggest adding to that power with yourself, and you will find that those climbs do go a lot quicker, but you will find that your legs do burn. So I mean, other than that, the bike has been fantastic. I have come off it a couple of times and had a couple of accidents. Like for example here, where came off the bike, crashed and severed the power cable. So luckily, one of the advantages of having a pretty simple controller is that the controller wire itself is, well, just 4 wires. So all I had to do was splice them back together and use some self-bonding tape, to waterproof it, and that's done the job. So also on top of that, it does actually provide a bit of extra protection to the wire underneath. Yeah, I mean, I've added a couple of other bits, like for example this case, which is also a waterproof phone holder, and then the chair itself has got a couple of suspension springs just to help you absorb the blows. So I've also moved that chair back to the furthest back position. The bike itself does seem to be made for people shorter than 6 foot. I mean, I've managed quite nicely by moving that center of balance back, but I do tend to need a little bit more room on the old legs. But other than that, the actual bike works brilliantly. I mean, I've been able to hold 15 miles per hour very easily, and with very little actual effort from myself. Even going up steep inclines, you can manage that on the turbo mode if you use the correct gearing, that is. But yeah, all in all, for £580, sorry, it was a fantastic buy, and I would very much recommend it for anybody else.